Well, hello, and I know it's only been a few weeks, but I bet the alteration in the climate and the look of this place is as obvious to you as it is to me. Spring has sprung and it's beautiful, it really is. It lifts the heart, lifts the soul, and makes you realise maybe your spirit is a little bit more intact than you thought it was. Still stand by what I said. Any kind of social media based interaction, which I include YouTube in, is a case of self-harming if you're doing it and not getting what you want in return. You know, you've got to look deep within yourself to think, what am I putting out there that I'm not getting anything back? And you know, I know the pitfalls. I'm so well versed in all this that any claim of being surprised or shocked by anything I see would be absolutely ridiculous after the best part of 15 years of putting my thoughts out there. And you know, I stand by what I said in my last video, but I just wanted to share a couple of things that have happened recently that have made me think about people I give a toss about, and there are in amongst your number a couple of people who fall into that category. And just a bit of advice I've given many times is to avoid rabid children, for one. And another one is to just protect yourself, okay, and I'll go into that in a sec. Actually, situations go further and people actually seem to think it's as standard an acceptable thing to do to just assault your liberty, use their freedom of choice as an excuse to sit on yours. You know, we've all been there and we have to react, and there's been a couple of times recently where I've noticed an improvement in my confidence, where I've said no and explained why, whereas even 6 months ago I'd have just literally cried into my pillow. On one of these occasions, as per what life has taught me to do, I had record pressed covertly on my device, and I got every second of an exchange between me and two other people that I really am glad that I got, because as far as covering my backside with anything that could get ugly, as a response to me standing up for what is right, I've got it there. But a couple of weeks ago there was a confrontation, 3 people involved. I thought 2 people were on the same side, but within minutes of said event happening, it was 2 single events that actually are one, and I'm not going to go into what it was, but within minutes, people who were apparently on my side gaslit me and said, I don't remember what was said. When they actually responded to the situation, it was so heated and their reaction was so clear that the moment it looked like the heat was going to be on them, they literally lied to me on a one-to-one and said, I don't remember what happened. I didn't hear that. Do you think it's something that you actually responded to? But I hadn't pressed record. I was so caught up in the adrenaline of the moment that I'm left in a situation where, I mean, it's good to know, or it's not good to know, but it's better to know that somebody who surrounds you in your life through no choice of yours is not to be trusted, and they will backstab and gaslight you as soon as speak to you. You know, it's very good to know that they are of that persuasion. But yeah, I repeat what I've said 1,000 times before, and this comes from a relatively sort of neutral to happy heart today, but I just owe it to myself and to other people as a reminder. You know, this is, don't get me wrong, I'm a selfish person, this is about me. Never forget when voices get raised. Just make sure you take a moment to yourself, don't make it obvious that you're doing so, but have a device, record what's being said. Keep it recording in your pocket. Don't leave anything to chance, because people will, you know, this has happened so much in my life that it's not a and I've been the perpetrator of it as well, and I'm, you know, disgusted with myself for having the ability to admit that. But you know, it would be wrong of me not to admit it. And people will stitch you up as soon as look at you, and I learnt that, and boy do I regret it. You know, there's nothing I would like more. I don't care how people say, it's weird, you record conversations? No, only when they look like they're getting ugly. There are so many times in my life where, you know, I have been the bad guy, and I'll freely admit that, but there have been times in my life, and I know in times in your life, where you've been stitched up, even if it's just a sort of commercial thing with a company phoning you. You agree to their internet package, and a week later the bill comes through and it's 50 quid more than you were quoted. We never said that, we'd never have said that, and you remember exactly every second. It's just such a wise thing to do. We live in such a litigious world. People don't walk around the corner and sort it out on the pavement anymore, on the sidewalk, and punch each other in the face. They take each other to court, they screw each other's reputations over. You know, in this day and age, we can ruin somebody via social media. I'm very, very aware of that, and I'm very aware of still that I fight certain things, you know, certain people who've got character traits that I recognise that I hate. Not to just turn the other cheek, do the right thing and ignore it, just let it be. I find myself regularly still putting that comment on a YouTube video or a Facebook post that I might as well have just shut the fuck up about, because adding to that echo chamber isn't doing anybody, least of all me, any good. And you know, it's something which I try to learn by a process of repeating to myself and other people the experiences I've had. Just don't leave it to chance, all right? Because I really do, you know, it's not on a major level, but on a minor moment-to-moment thing at the moment, me not having evidence of exactly what's said, it starts making me question my sanity. Did I really hear what I heard? You know, I'm not that far gone. I'm pretty much damaged goods, but you know, I started questioning, am I starting to make things up in my head? Am I hearing things that other people say? But you know, I know I'm not that far gone that that's the case. But yeah, it's a situation which I really wanted to talk about, at least to somebody, in the vain hope that somebody watches this and has got something to say in response, you know. Anyway, it's good to have had a chat. As much as I act like a petulant child and say I'm never doing this again, it is an addiction, and I do get something from it, just having that outlet to speak and say something to people, and even if there is no response, so be it. Anyway, hope you're well, God bless. This little bit I'm saying now is recorded well after the bulk of the majority of this video, or in fact all of it. And just wanted to say that I've found the strength to confront things, but being confronted myself about things I'm so sure about, I really haven't got the patience or the temperament to deal with it. Just because you're finding strength in some ways doesn't mean you've got strength in others, and I've got no ability to rationally discuss everything I feel I've been put through in the past year and a half, 2 years. To end up having a shouting match in the street does nobody any good, and that's what happened. Literally, I confronted one of the tiny issues that have made life difficult in the last year and a half, and as I say, I've been later in this video you'll find out I was gaslit and lied to, but you know, it's just a very difficult situation to know how to deal with it, because on paper you may be in the right, and in the sense of legalities you may be in the right, but sometimes life, to avoid that cascading snowball of annoyance and pettiness that's hurtling down the hill, we've got to find tiny little coping mechanisms to deal with things in as healthy a way as possible, because you confront people about their BS, they get hostile. It's very few people who are willing to take constructive criticisms. I think one of the greatest things kids could be taught is that it's not all about success on a personal level, and it's not all about you being great and appreciated, which seems to be the way the world is going at the moment. Everybody's in a happy, clappy utopian. Isn't everybody lovely to one another? But you'll soon find out when you're older that we don't get on. It's not happy, clappy, and we fight if the tiniest of our annoyances is mentioned by another person. Life's about finding ways to deal with the BS that we throw at one another.